Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. This is Henry. Recently a question popped up on the forums about the FWC sleep system. In fact, I always see people inquiring about how to improve the performance of the OEM bolster cushions that the four-wheel pop-up camper uses for their mattress, and it's really hard, and I found it very stiff to sleep on. So one of the first things we did is to buy this latex memory gel. Like it's a foam, but it's like a gel foam. It's super squishy and has no memory, so it returns to its shape. So this is a 2-inch thick latex mattress, which sits on top of the let's see, what looks like a 2.5-inch OEM cushion, and that was actually really nice improvement. When you go to buy this, you want to make sure that you get the latex version versus the non-latex, and even within the latex, they're the more expensive ones, which is what this is actually really pricey. The reason being is because it doesn't off-gas. The cheaper ones and the ones that isn't latex, they off-gas, and they off-gas for a long time, I believe. And some of the forum comments you'll see, they'll talk about how badly it smells inside the camper, to the point where they can't use it. So you want to make sure that when you're investing in this memory foam, you want to make sure you get the ones that is latex, non-off-gassing. And then underneath, so we had this for quite some time, and it was totally fine, not a big deal. And then one day I realized that I was getting condensation underneath the mattress, underneath the cushion. So I wanted to improve airflow underneath it, and it seemed to me that if I can just lift the cushion off permanently versus like after every sleep you got to pull everything apart to air it out, that just seems like is a huge effort. So I knew about the FWC system, so I invested in that. So that's what this is down here. You should be able to see that. So the FWC system is basically these plastic springs. They're quite squishy. Hang on, let me see if I can get a light on that for you. There we go. All right, so there you go. You can see a little bit better light. They're just little plastic spring-loaded things like this here, and they simply screw in, give it a quarter turn, and it sits in like that. So there's different colors. There's some light blue and darker blue, and they're just for different weighting, different tension on it. So the height of the the height of the FWC system itself is 1.5 inches. Okay? So overall, I went from 2.5 inch plus 1.5 inch plus the memory foam. I'm now up to 6 inches compared to the previous 2.5. For me personally, I don't know if this is the same for every single version of four-wheel camper, because I know that there's some variances between the different models as well as the different years. But for me, I can still close this top without any issues. But before we get to that, I just want to talk about pros and cons. So one of the things that may be of an issue to you, and I'll get on here and show you. I'm not sure if you can hear that. There's a little bit of sound as you're moving around, more so than your average home mattress. So if that's going to bother you, that might be an issue. It doesn't bother me because often I'm close to a river, or there's enough noise outside that it doesn't affect me at all. But definitely as you roll around in the middle of the night, you might have a little bit more noise. The other thing that I do is we don't actually deploy the entire bed into its king size mode, but what we do is pull it out just enough to give it a bit of air gap. So I actually leave the space here all the time, and then on the opposite side there's a little bit of space as well. So effectively we're just using the cushion, the sleeping pad cushion, without using the additional 2 pieces that you put in to extend the bed into the full king size mode. The reason being is because essentially this is the footprint of a double bed, and my wife and I fit on it here just fine, and often by myself anyways. So we have this gap here simply just as airflow, and it's worked out great. It's kept everything dry underneath, and it's not an issue. So here we have the roof down, and you can see here there's still a little bit of gap in between, and this did not seem like that it was actually in the way of the roof collapsing. Let me show you on the outside as well. So here we are on the outside here. Sorry, it's kind of a bad camera angle because I have nowhere else to put the camera, but you can see here this is just a roof dropping down on itself. Hope you can see the latch here. So this is just me latching the roof on, literally finger press, and that roof closes normally. So really, that extra few inches of material doesn't seem to be an issue. So here we are. This is the driver's side. You can see here, just tucking the canvas in. Roof here sits on top. Putting on the latch. I'm about 2 millimeters shy. A little bit of weight on the roof, and that's it. Doesn't seem to be any worse for wear. So I hope that's helpful to you guys. Whether you decide to use that latex on its own, the latex memory foam on its own, or if you choose to use the Froley system or the combination, apparently it works, at least for my model. I've heard of people trying to put memory foam, whether it's a much thicker foam than what I've got, and it's just the roof wouldn't close properly. I've read that on the forum, so I don't know if it's just what I did happened to be perfect in the amount of space. Like I said, it's ended up being around 6 inches or so, and I have no issues closing my roof. I'm not forcing anything, nothing's getting torn apart as I'm closing the roof, and it's very comfortable. The Froley system, it wasn't to improve my sleep. It's helpful, but it's definitely improved airflow, so there's no condensation underneath. It is noticeable though. I do sleep. It is a better sleep for sure. So, but Froley is pretty expensive, and that latex topper is expensive as well too. But you know what? If you're not comfortable, you're not sleeping well, maybe that's the way to go. Anyways, see you in the next video.